here's what you might have missed. We're Colin and Pam, and we moved from Kelowna, BC, Canada, to Penang, Malaysia in July 2022. We've been learning about life here in Malaysia and exploring the region. This podcast is a way for us to share our experiences with you, whether you're interested in learning about living as an expat, or you just want to keep up with what we're up to. Now you're caught up.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first of our Made to Travel podcast. I want to thank you for taking some time out to check out our video today. This is going to be a weekly podcast where we show you a little bit about our lives here in Penang, some of the adventures we get up to, some of the cultural differences that we experience, and things of that nature. There's a phrase you'll hear us use occasionally to describe ourselves, and that phrase is expats. Some people have asked, well, what's an expat? Quite simply, an expat, it's short for expatriate. It means somebody who is living in a country that isn't their native country. So we traveled back to Canada and spent our time out there visiting family and friends. It was great to get to catch up with everybody. We landed in Vancouver, British Columbia. We spent a few days in and around Surrey and Langley, visiting some family down there. Then we traveled up to the Okanagan, spent most of our time in Kelowna with a little bit of time down in Summerland. Got to visit family and friends there as well, since that's where we used to live. Then we traveled out to Calgary, Alberta to visit my brother and his family and some friends. And then we traveled all the way out to Cutknife, Saskatchewan. Cutknife, Saskatchewan is where my son and daughter-in-law live, and also my brand new baby granddaughter. And it was awesome to get to meet her. She was born in March. Getting to meet her, see the beautiful little baby girl that she is, spend time with her. It was so much fun. Loved it immensely. Can't wait till the next time we get to see her again. In our travels in Canada, we traveled about probably just over 4,000 kilometers, driving all the way out to Saskatchewan and back, and some of the driving around that we did in between. When you're in Canada, driving out to Saskatchewan doesn't sound like it's very far. I mean, we're not even halfway across the country. But here, to drive the same distance, we would have had to hop in our car and drive onto the mainland of Malaysia, go north, cross the border into Thailand, drive all the way up to Bangkok, and keep going. Drive around the north end of the Gulf of Thailand into Cambodia, and keep going. We would have driven all the way to Vietnam. That would have been about the same distance there and back as what we drove in Canada.
How do people wash their dishes without running hot water in their kitchens? It's not something we had thought about until we moved to Malaysia, where it's common to only have cold water in the kitchen. It turns out the Malaysians I spoke to just wash their dishes with tap water. It's not exactly cold water, but it's not exactly hot either. We, however, prefer to use hot water. So here's what we did. We started using our kettle to boil water, but waiting for it to boil was annoying. Then we realized we do have running hot water for the shower in the bathroom. I grabbed our biggest pot to haul the hot water, but it wasn't big enough. Finally, we went out and bought a large pail from the local Mr. DIY, and now it only takes one trip to get enough hot water to wash and rinse a sink full of dishes. Washing dishes still isn't fun, but it's certainly a more tolerable experience this way. I hope that answers the question. The video you just watched was one I posted back in May, and it's gotten over 350,000 views. Interestingly, most of the viewers are Malaysian. In fact, just over 1% of the entire population of Malaysia have watched this video. Now, compared to big-time YouTubers, that's not very much, but it's the most views I've ever gotten on one of my videos by far, and believe me, that got my attention. I was quite surprised by how it resonated so much, and I was especially surprised that a number of the viewers were bothered by my video. Some felt I was being dismissive of how they wash dishes without hot water, since they don't see it as a problem. At first I was quite bothered by their offense and annoyed at the comments, since they were clearly not my intended audience. Then it dawned on me, if I'm going to put videos out in a public forum, I need to be prepared that not everyone will see my videos the way I anticipated them being understood. After a discussion with one of my viewers that included him sending me a video of how he washes dishes, I was able to come to a much better understanding of why some people didn't appreciate my video. Mainly it boiled down to cultural differences. Fortunately, I was able to learn all of this from a relatively innocent video about using hot water to wash dishes. Now, I certainly don't claim to be an expert on Malaysia or Malaysian culture now. I still have so much to learn about the culture here. My hope is that while we're sharing some of our experiences, we can also shed some light on the culture that it's coming from. Whether it's here in Malaysia or as we travel the region, we want to share our adventures while learning from those we meet along the way. And that's certainly a lot more than I ever expected to learn from making a video about how we got hot water into our kitchen. I love it.
If you have any questions or you have some suggestions for topics you'd like me to address in a future episode, please send me a message. Either leave a comment in one of our videos or you can send an email. It's thesetoes@gmail.com. Send an email to that address and I'll do my best to answer you back or include a response to what you're talking about in a future episode. I appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen to this video today. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss future episodes. You can also visit thesetoes.xyz/news, and that'll take you to a sign-up form where you can sign up for our newsletter. That will get you an email every week when I post a new podcast, as well as a monthly update newsletter. Just to give you an overview, keep you informed in case you miss any of the episodes. You can still keep up with what's going on with us. I appreciate you taking the time, and we will see you again next week.